Hello, coaches. Welcome back to another episode of Coach Better Spotlight. Today, I'm chatting with Kristin Zeimke, teacher and learning innovation specialist in Chicago. Kristin is passionate about literacy and how we can support students in developing a biliterate brain, able to transition seamlessly between traditional and digital literacy skills. This Spotlight episode focuses on the key elements of building a culture of coaching so that teachers are empowered to take risks with new innovation in learning. In the full-length episode, we also chat about the ways that we can use technology as equity machines and how to layer critical literacy skills to deeply understand how to navigate our media-rich world. To hear the full episode, subscribe to Coach Better wherever you get your podcasts. If you enjoy today's episode, you will love all of the resources and professional learning experiences we're curating for you here at Eduro Learning. Check out our website to see all of our latest offerings at edurolearning.com. Welcome back to another episode of Coach Better. Today, I am honored to be here with Kristin Zeimke, teacher and learning innovation specialist in Chicago. I'm super excited to have this conversation with you, Kristin. I've been following you for a long time. So please, I know our listeners probably already know a lot about you, but can you give us a little bit of your personal background as an educator so we can get that full picture of all the great work that you're doing?
Yeah, thanks so much, Kim. I know I was thinking earlier about when I first connected with you, and I think it was on Twitter like a very long time ago.
Sounds
like
right.
Maybe 2010 or 2011. And it's just so crazy to see how those connections link up down the road. I am currently a learning innovation specialist in Chicago. I am teaching and coaching at this time and working with primarily pre-K through 8th grade students, but also working with high school students too. So I think that's been an evolution for me. I used to always be early years and have transitioned into more elementary and then the high school ranges as well, which is just a totally new learning experience. You know, in many ways they're similar, in many ways they're different, but it's all very good. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to span the grades. I also write for Heinemann Publishing, and I have a new book out called Read the World, Teaching for Empathy and Action in a Digital Age.
All of your innovation, the way that you're bringing all this to the teachers at your school is making me wonder, what are the big goals your school has for this year, and how is coaching, your coaching or other coaches, going to help your school get there? Like, how do you bring all this new type, I don't know if this is a goal, so I'm making an assumption here, but how do you bring this new type of thinking to your school, and how does coaching help make it a reality?
Absolutely. And like, this is, you know, a lot of what we're thinking about right now, just next steps in literacy development or providing kids access in a myriad of different ways. And so, you know, when working across schools, we have a lot of professional learning communities after school, and like a media literacy and a news literacy cohort. So that's one way we're bringing in and addressing these things. But I think a lot of it is happening at the school level with a broad topic or an idea or professional development that then leads up to follow-up coaching cycles on what do you want to try now, you know, and then what do you want to try next? And really trying to listen. Like, I think that's the most important thing in coaching. Like, where are people? What do they need? How can I support them? And then just differentiating for educators like we do with kids, and realizing that everyone's on the continuum. They're just at different spots, but we're all moving in that same direction. And I think, you know, sometimes also just being like the cheerleader, you know, like, hey, when are we going to start podcasting? Or, hey, remember we were going to do that news show? Let me know when you need help with it. Because I think when you have that conversation piece or make it public, then people are more likely to follow up and have a go or make a try. And then I just think like the power of sharing across schools, finding ways to let other people know, like, oh, Maggie's doing this in her classroom and it's really awesome. You should take a look at it, So like trying to create a place where everyone teaches everyone and where the coach is really just that scaffold or cheerleader, helping people move forward.
How do you build, I'm writing this down.
Yeah.
How do you build that culture? And I don't know if this is something that you're passionate about, you want to talk about, but I'll put you on the spot because you're making me want to ask this question. How do you build that culture where everyone teaches everyone and the coach is just that cheerleader, that scaffold to help them grow? How do you build a culture where people feel okay being vulnerable, taking risks, sharing? Like, what are things that either you or your school leaders do, the environment that you're creating so that culture is very risk-taking, open, willing, enthusiastic that you're describing here?
Yeah, I think a lot of it goes back to like begins with time, and maybe as simple as time in the building or with the community as a coach to really let them know your purpose. I'm just here to support you. Like it's not evaluative. What's your problem of practice and how can I help you fix it? And so I think it takes a little bit, if you're new to the school, maybe it's a different story if you're transitioning, right? But if you're new to a school, taking that time to really play out how you can be a think partner or a helper. I think a lot of it comes from leadership as well. And maybe that's from a curriculum director, a building principal, a tech leader. And I think if we can make time for this coaching to happen, maybe it's 20 minutes during a 1 hour weekly staff meeting where we share a new topic and then say, all right, so here's what we're working on, or showcase what people have done since your last coaching cycle. And then I think, really allowing some planning time, whether it's during the school day or at a before or after school prep, for teachers to meet with coaches so that it's not just let me know when you need me, but that it's organized and planned for and flows in repetition. The best leaders I've had have always valued this learning time and really made explicit time for educators to have a 20 or 30-minute chunk once or twice a month in lieu of some other meeting to go through and to stay on top of these pieces.
I love the phrase that you said, organized and planned for time that flows in repetition. I think that's the key, that repetition. That's where you get into that cycle piece, right? That it's not just a one-off, one PD day or one session or one this. It's about growth over time. And I think
it has to be recursive.
Yes. And the fact that when school leaders value that learning and give them that time, perhaps in lieu of another meeting like you suggest, I think that's what allows that to happen and grow, over time.
And then even just providing opportunities. I learned from one of my coaches early on, Carolyn Skiba, that offering something at a lunch break, like she started with like every Thursday we have a 20-minute drop in to just talk about one thing. It's not going to be 18 tools, but if you want to know about Flipgrid, come for lunch bunch on Thursday. And so it was a choice and a way to differentiate. People that wanted it could go. But like she gave up 20 minutes of her lunchtime to create this community piece. And then I adopted her approach in much of the work I've done, but it's just so nice because maybe in smaller groups, you have different conversations. You can have that like just in time moment where people are like, I needed this and I didn't know I needed it. So just thinking differently about the time piece.
And I think this example about her giving up and then you giving up lunchtime to do some of this stuff is also part of helping teachers recognize that you value their time enough to give up your time to make their time more valuable. You know what I mean? Like, I think that whole cycle of like, I'm a coach when it's convenient versus I'm a coach when it's important for you is you can do that in so many different ways, and they can be very simple, but very impactful.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching today's episode. Don't forget to check out edurolearning.com for more great learning opportunities, and connect with us on social media at Eduro Learning to stay up to date with everything we share.